I'm going to talk to you about life in the city. I came to the Lisbon conference a few months ago, and I talked about the Edge in Amsterdam. And that was a building that was designed 15 years ago, and it's all about sustainability, it's all about smart buildings. But the work in our studio in London has changed quite dramatically in the period in between. We work globally. We have a few people spread around the world. Our buildings are often more now about the social spaces within them than their place in the skyline and their appearance at the larger scale. We are designing buildings for collaboration, we're designing buildings for culture, we're designing buildings for people to come together and create ideas for the future. When I talked about Edge, the conclusion in the end was that yes, it was a very sustainable building, very green, highest BREEAM rating. We talked about smart technology. It was one of the first buildings that used sensors and feedback loops to make the building function. But really the big achievement there was that people just felt great to be in that building. For a company like Deloitte, that's crucial because they survive on talent. They survive on young people wanting to be there, wanting to come and work there. And increasingly, the place where people will work is very much a lifestyle decision. People come because of them. So the sustainability work is giving us lots of accolades, and it started us also thinking about aspects of architecture that we did not feel we understood as well as we could. So we started PLP Lab doing research into all sorts of amazing stuff, using natural materials for building skyscrapers. We worked with researchers to find out how people respond physically in their bodies to biophilia and to natural materials in their workspaces. We measured their bodily functions, their brain waves, their skin connectivity, and we combined it with anecdotal information. And the researcher, Joyce, on the bottom right here, managed to calculate that putting plants in office space is actually a good investment. It's an example of how we can learn and how we can apply to the architectural profession some intelligence about how people feel in buildings. We worked with mycelium, we've designed exhibitions, and slowly we're putting together a picture, which we do in publications we create for our clients or for cities or for universities, about aspects that we feel are going to have an influence on the way we build our cities in the future. We are extrapolating that to buildings in the city. I'm just going to show very quickly 3 projects that are on the drawing board now. And one is in Rotterdam. It's a very centrally located building next to the central station. It's a mixed-use building, so it has offices, workspace, apartments, exhibitions, TED Talks, jazz, music, restaurants, and all of those give the functionality to the project that will enhance a whole larger part of the city. That is the point. The projects should not just be for themselves. They should not just be for the developer. They're not just for the people who work there. They all take part in the quality of life in cities. Same in Tokyo. We have done a big master plan just by the Imperial Palace, which combines as many functions as our client would allow to make a building that activates the city, that is connected to the park, and that is a destination for people to go to. In London, Bankside Yards, same story. 8 buildings, some of them residential, some of them offices, historic arches from the railway, we're creating an environment for people to come together, to live, to work, to go to the gym, etc., etc. This seems to be, to us, the solution for high-density cities. It was mentioned before with earlier speakers. The time of suburbia is over. A city like Riyadh is growing, spreading relentlessly. We need to look for solutions that are creating good lifestyle qualities for people rather than sitting in a car and leaving the town. So in our work in the Kingdom, we have used the same approach as we have in PLP labs. We take small aspects, we talk to people, we learn from universities, we talk to cities, we put together a scenario where everyone can learn from. And these are always about history, they are about what makes places tick, they are about how people feel, and we're trying to apply these into projects, because there is everywhere in the world a reason for people to love their city, to want to be there and to take part in public life in cities, and that doesn't happen in big suburban projects. So just very quickly, a couple of projects we've been working on in the Kingdom. In Riyadh, 2 projects. You can see from the spread of functions in the building that there is life. There are relationships between different functions. People circulate through the building. There are economic advantages of creating space inside projects that enhance the quality of living, give people a reason to come and live in the city, and have a walkable circulation network to the shops, the coffee, and the gym, among many other things. So this then creates an atmosphere. This creates a character that you cannot just create with buildings, but that you have to create with the activity around them, the materials that they are made of, the music that's playing, the local climate that you can produce. And we think that this is the future for urban architecture. It does not do to make singular buildings, residential buildings, get into your car, drive to an office building, go into the office building, get out of your car, go to a shopping mall. The city can be richer than that, and the architecture is a reflection of that. So this is a recent competition we took part in, again in King Fahd Road in Riyadh. And it's a combination of all of this thinking. So these projects are sustainable, these projects are smart, but the next step is to work with people and to learn from what we can see in various places in the world, and create a local urban environment that people thrive in, that will attract talent, that will make a lifestyle place for people to bring their families and work there. 9 minutes. Thank you very much.